Call meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Welcome to the March 11th, 2014 Rhinebeck Village Board of Trustees meeting. Our first guest will be County Legislator Joel Tyner.
Thank you, Mayor, board members, for letting me do this so I can run over to the Clinton Town Board meeting. I'll try to be brief. The New York State Conference of Mayors is actually kind of working together to a certain extent with CSCA on something called stopthetaxshift.org. And I bring this up because I sort of followed politics for a couple decades. It's my 11th year in the county legislature. And one thing I've noticed for the last 20 years, whether it's a village, the village of Rhinebeck, or the county of Dutchess, it always seems to come down to either fund services fairly, adequately, fully, completely, or raise property taxes. That's the struggle. And so I'm just putting it out there to everybody right now. If you care about services being fully funded in the village of Rhinebeck or Dutchess County, Rhinebeck, Clinton, there's only a few days left. The state budget is going to be done very soon. Very soon. And what happens in Albany, the revenue sharing from New York State to municipalities over the last 35 years has been slashed by 75%. If you look at real after inflation dollars, 75% cut in state aid. So I'm just putting it out there to everybody. It's stopthetaxshift.org. There's also nyinequality.org. There's fiscalpolicy.org. There's abetterchoiceforny.org. But as far as I believe the New York State Conference of Mayors is behind the stopthetaxshift.org. And so I just put that out there. There's a toll-free number people can call. Anybody in the Assembly, anybody in the Senate, even Governor Cuomo's office. The toll-free number is 877-255-9417. 877-255-9417. I was just at the mobile. Former Rhinebeck Town Board member Ken Tompkins was there. What do you think was on his mind? It's, I think, on the mind of everybody here, and it's certainly been in the media, this home fuel tax. So I just want to update people. I didn't vote for it. I've been leading the charge against it, ever since I heard that this was going to be floated last October. I've been fighting the good fight. I never voted for it. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. This is a $7.5 million hit on senior citizens and working families in Dutchess County. And I'll just real quick, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm going to remind people here of 5 different ways we could get alternative sources of revenue so we wouldn't have to have that hit, the $7.5 million hit. And I've been talking about these, promoting these endlessly, not just for the last several months. Number one, again, 63% of people in the Dutchess County Jail are in there accused of nonviolent felonies or misdemeanors. I can't believe that all those 63% of folks need to be in the county jail. Number two, 80% of folks in the county jail haven't even gone to trial yet. They haven't been sentenced yet. 80% of people in the Dutchess County Jail have basically substance abuse or mental health issues. We're spending $8, $9, $10 million a year housing out our inmates to kingdom come. With all due respect to some folks in county government, I don't think the only solution is adding another 200 new jail cell pods or 100, 150, $200 million jail expansion. Okay, we could be doing a lot. If we're just looking at what other communities are doing, we could save a lot of money. We're about to, unfortunately, renegotiate, extend the county contract with Covanta, which runs the county incinerator. The Poughkeepsie Journal's reported it's a money pit. It still is a money pit. We could be saving a lot more money if we were serious about recycling and composting. I'll give you another one. Schenectady County, they have solar panels on the county buildings, 30% savings on electric bills, no money down, power purchase agreements. There are many different ways. Canadian prescription drug option for county employees and retirees in Schenectady County. All these different ways to save money. One last one, there are 200 millionaires in Dutchess County. I'm not suggesting that 200 millionaires in Dutchess County, just those 200 families, make up the difference and ante up and cough up for the $7.5 million to stop the county home fuel tax. But you know what? The reason why I bring up nyinequality.org, the governor, who's a Democrat, has proposed $350 million in estate tax cuts. $350 million in new tax cuts for banks on Wall Street and $750 million in estate tax cuts, primarily for the wealthiest. So there's over $1 billion that we don't need to be giving folks who have plenty. At the same time, we're barely scrapping by here in Dutchess County. So I just urge people to get active on the state budget now if you have not yet. Just a couple of calendar items. Tuesday, March 25th at 5:30 p.m., I'm hosting a screening of a movie about smart meters, takebackyourpower.net, about the dangers therein. And Wednesday, April 9th at 5:30 p.m. at Vassar College, Rockefeller Hall, Shabazz Jackson from Greenway Environmental Services and Neil Selman, the president of the Washington, D.C.-based Institute for Local Self-Reliance. We're doing a zero waste update forum. We're trying to build the grassroots movement to push so that we're not going to extend the county contract with the Covanta for the county incinerator another 10, 20 years. The last thing is if you go to repaircafe.org, there was a big Daily Freeman article about this a couple weeks ago. We're trying to put together a repair cafe in Rhinebeck. Hopefully, possibly, maybe, when Saturday, April 26th. I'm trying to talk to the Rhinebeck Town Board about it. The idea is you bring your old appliances, anything you want fixed, you bring them to a certain place. New Paltz has been doing this for a while. It started in Netherlands several years ago. And they get fixed. Not everything gets fixed, but it sort of brings the community together. I just urge you to go to repaircafe.org. And if you would like me to help me make this happen, I can't do it alone. Give me a call, 453-2105, 876-2488. Tentatively, if the town board approves it, that would be Saturday, April 26th, noon to 4. And I also, we got 8 legislators last night signed on to a letter. The Scenic Hudson, Natural Resources Defense Council, Riverkeeper all said, let's have a moratorium on these oil trains and barges going through our communities until they can be proven safe. A lot of coverage in the Poughkeepsie Journal on that Saturday editorial. So if you go to duchessdemocracy.blogspot.com, you can see the letter I got signed. Thank you for letting me speak. I got to run to Clinton. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and board members.
Thanks, Joel.
Yep.
So next guest on our agenda is Tina Lee from the National Alliance for Mental Illness.
Hi.
Welcome, Tina.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Tina Lee, and I sit on the board of the National Alliance on Mental Illness Mid-Hudson chapter. Also with me are several NAMI Mid-Hudson members who are also residents of Rhinebeck. NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. NAMI is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to building better lives for the millions of Americans affected by mental illness. NAMI advocates for access to services, treatments, and research, and is steadfast in its commitment to raise awareness about mental illness and give hope to the 1 in 4 Americans and 1 in 5 children that suffer from some form of mental illness. NAMI Mid-Hudson has reached out to over 10,000 people in this last year alone. We differ from other agencies because we focus on offering support and education to the family and the support system instead of focusing only on the consumer. NAMI recently made the SAMHSA Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration list for evidence-based practices that demonstrates that our programs are crucial for the successful recovery to our loved ones. Since 1949, May has been dedicated to Mental Health Awareness Month. And last year in May, NAMI Westchester, in partnership with Stamford Greenwich, Connecticut, launched their first mental health awareness ribbon campaign. Ribbons such as this one, I had submitted a packet in December, were tied on the trees along the main streets in 30 municipalities in Westchester County and in Greenwich, Connecticut, and its surrounding neighborhoods. This year, NAMI Westchester will have nearly 60 municipalities participating. With such positive results from last year's campaign, all the previous municipalities that participated in the awareness campaign last year agreed to participate in this year's campaign as well. The Ribbon Awareness Campaign is an anti-stigma awareness campaign. It is part of NAMI's community outreach and education efforts aimed to dispel the stigma of mental illness and to promote the awareness in a direct and visible manner. Many people suffering from mental illness do not seek help because they are afraid of the stigma attached to mental illness. NAMI hopes to let individuals and families know that they are not alone and to offer NAMI as a community resource. The villages of Fishkill, Millerton, Millbrook, LaGrange, New Paltz, Town of Woodstock, and the City of Beacon will be participating along with several mental health agencies such as Mental Health America. Dutchess Community College, John Jay High School, Dover High School, and Spacken Hill High School are just a few of the high schools also participating, both on the elementary, middle, and high school levels. Several high school seniors will also be helping us tie ribbons and will receive community service hours for their graduation requirement. I just spoke to Todd Tancredi this afternoon with the town of Poughkeepsie, and he's very supportive, and he actually got us in on the agenda for the 19th. The town of Dover is on the 26th, and we're approaching Red Hook shortly thereafter. Also, the village of New Paltz is hosting a community fair for Mental Health Awareness Month. And the communities are coming out with 10 to 15 other mental health agencies participating. We respectfully ask the Village of Rhinebeck to participate in our awareness campaign. We request permission to tie ribbons on Route 9 between South Street and Platt Avenue, and ribbons on Market Street between Center Street to Garden Street in your village for the month of 2014. We are also asking permission to, if businesses would like to participate, to put a small sign up at their register, or we have also ribbon displays that other businesses in the municipalities will be putting up in their businesses as well. NAMI volunteers will be responsible for putting up the ribbons on May 1st and taking them down at the end of the month, no later than June 1st, 2014. We would also like Rhinebeck to proclaim May as Mental Health Awareness Month. All the other municipalities have done so upon approval. The ribbons are also eco-safe, produced by Barrick Offray. They are made in the USA and will not damage any of the trees. There is no cost to the Village of Rhinebeck. We will supply all ribbons. To our knowledge, no other mental health organization has done an awareness campaign. This year, NAMI Chicago will also join us, and there's some discussion of NAMI Santa Clara. It is our hope that this becomes a national campaign. We would like for the Village of Rhinebeck to join us in our efforts to change attitudes and change lives. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Is it okay to sit down?
Sure.
Questions?
You guys got any questions?
So the ribbons go all the way around the tree?
Yes. I have a picture too. Since we don't have any pictures, these are from Westchester. So basically the ribbons are tied around, and they can be simple, or because they're the seniors, I think they'll have difficulty making something like that. But we're going to teach them how to just do a very simple tie, and they are very secure. They don't fall off. And also we have people that will, our NAMI members will also go around and check to make sure the ribbons
Some
are
of
in
the
good shape.
trees that we have are very small.
So we'll, it won't be on every tree. We'll try to pick, ones that people walk by and there's high visibility. So yeah, we don't want it to, be plastered so that it doesn't look.
So how many do you plan to put there?
I think probably about. We were talking maybe 20 to 30 ribbons.
In
In that area you described?
Yes.
You guys want to take some time to research it?
They're asking for May, so you have time to.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on,
Okay.
research it, and we'll decide in April. So that will give it,
Is that enough time?
Well, I guess, there's a lot of prepping involved, and the seniors are, really, they would like to start prepping the ribbons. We'd like to have them.
do you have any Rhinebeck students?
Well, actually, what we're planning to do, we submitted a packet to the high school already in December, so we're going to follow up and see if they're interested. But, we're basically having the municipality overlap with the seniors for that high school.
Okay.
So we'll definitely, if Rhinebeck, I didn't want to have the seniors say, the high school approved and then not follow through, so.
Okay. Well, unless there's a motion now, we'll wait until,
Well, we have other meetings between now and.
yeah.
I'm okay with it, but we do have a lot of meetings coming up.
Yeah.
Like
What
I
do
said, if
you
we-
think, Heinz?
You're the tree man.
I'm the tree man. I'm on the tree committee. There's not going to be a sign at every tree, is there? One of those signs?
No, it'll just
Okay.
be the ribbon itself. And
Okay.
again, if you have a quantity of, that you're concerned about, we, have some, I was talking to Mayor Reardon, when he was
Mhm.
still in office, and, he was concerned about it being, again, plastered. It won't, we'll go.
You said about 25 or so, right?
It was South Street to Platt, and what was the other the other street?
Center to Garden.
Center, yes,
Just center, yes.
center,
Thank you.
The center's right, one street down.
right here.
Right
It's
here.
this street here.
This is the center.
Yeah, going the other way, it's right where that one restaurant is, Market Street. I think
Mhm.
that's the other street there, Gordon.
Right. Well, if there's no motion, then we'll move on to the department reports.
Okay.
We're having, just to let you know, we're having meetings, once a week.
Weekly
Is
basis.
there any way we could get a date from you? So can you put it on the agenda now? We do that.
Well, April 8th is our next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Will it be on then?
If we don't
If it
make,
waits that long, we're gonna have workshops every week
Yeah.
until then.
Will we need to come back to the meeting?
I don't believe so.
No.
We
We'll
have
let
the
you know.
content.
We'll have a meeting again next week,
Tuesday.
our next one.
Tuesday.
Mhm.
So basically, this will be discussed again, or?
Well, basically, a board member has to make a motion to either approve or disapprove it, which we haven't yet to do, so.
Can we just, is there another village, where have you done it in another place? I know you rattled off some places, but.
How many in
Should we
West?
just-
We have Fishkill, Village of Fishkill, Millerton.
You've done this in the past there, right?
No, well, they approved of it.
Right.
This is our first, our affiliate, our affiliate is the first one to do it in Dutchess and Ulster County.
Oh, okay.
NAMI Westchester, last year, they had 30 municipalities participate, and this year they have 60. And none of the municipalities, complain about anything. In fact, they were very happy to promote, mental health issue, in the community. So, I think one of the biggest issues we're having right now is also, a lot of the high schools are experiencing, major issues in the school. And this has been a really good way to have the superintendent, all the principals who've been talking to me about, it's a gentle way to introduce the students to actually talk about issues if they have, suicidal tendencies or they're cutting or harming themselves. It's opening up a lot of discussion in the town as well. And, it's seen that if you catch it early enough and the treatment is applied to the consumer, there's a better chance of recovery, and they can lead very, very productive lives. So, again, early intervention and also education, educating the public that, mental illness is not a character flaw, it's a brain disorder. And just as we would not penalize somebody who has cancer or diabetes, it is in the same category. So we're hoping to promote, education and awareness so that, the statistics say 1 in 4. And I guarantee you, in your social network, somebody has.
But we'll have it on no later than April 8th. We'll have an answer for you. Okay, could be before then, but no later
Okay,
than then. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. I would head to you, Brant, for wastewater.
Oh, yeah. February's report, wastewater treated 2.9 million gallons, 36,900 gallons of sludge processed, 5,161 pounds of sludge processed. It was a quiet month, a lot of snow and ice on the equipment. We lost power during the 20-inch snowfall on the 14th, but we have the new generator and power was out for about 3.5 hours. So that's about all I have. Nothing really to report.
All right. Heinz, from the water department?
We treated 10,434,000 gallons of water in the month of February. I'd like to just briefly talk about a VFD proposal from Erdman Anthony that I have received, which is for engineering evaluation and the design of a variable frequency drive. We want to do that because we have a lot of line breaks in the village and in Rhinecliff. We need to replace some of these areas. We have used an inordinate amount of electricity, and a variable frequency drive will cut that down considerably. In the process of looking at this, which I have been doing in a number of months, we found that there may be some issues that we need to overcome. One of them is the age of the facility and the equipment inside that facility. The facility was built in 1968, and the motors that we have there, which are two 100 horsepower motor and one 50 horsepower motor, are of that vintage. So they're probably 1965 and so on, and they don't lend itself easily to conversion for variable frequency drives. Additionally, if we change the motors, we also, the configuration of these motors is different, so we have to put the mounting together for the pumps. All of this requires some work and investigation, and I have a quote from Nancy Clark, our village engineer, for $5,800 to put a engineering evaluation and design evaluation together. That will come in the form of a letter, and we're supposed to be having that by April 4th or so, and after that we're going to put a big package together based on the evaluation and the design of that. So I think I'd like to make a motion to approve the expenditure of $5,800 for the engineering evaluation and design for to get started on the variable frequency drives.
There a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
If you can fit these on the old pumps, in the old pumps?
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons we need to take a look and get a design for it. But if these motors don't work,
Right.
and they may not work, okay, as I said, they are almost 50 years old, we have to design something to plant the motors on top of the pumps. But
So
we're not going to replace
if
the
they
pump.
work for a few years and then fail, can you use your variable frequency drive with new pumps?
The pumps are independent from the motor. It's just like a shaft that connects to the motor. So if the pump fails, and we had one fail maybe 6 or 7 years ago, we just have to take it out and put a new one in. Put
So
new
these-
impellers in there.
And these VFDs are still good then? They're
Yeah, it
not-
has nothing to do with it. Yeah,
It has
it's
nothing to do with it.
independent. It has nothing to do with it. The VFDs are strictly to control the motors,
Okay.
to ramp them up and to ramp them down, and so on. So
So the fee is to look at it or to design new motors?
Design and specify what kind, if the motors are working, if we need new motors, and make any design. On top of that, we also have, if you remember some time ago, I gave you these pictures over here, and that needs to be designed as well. Okay, this is the gate valve that we have to take out, so we have to build an interface when we take that out.
Well, I think that they're gonna be great, because I think it's gonna stop all the hammering. It's gonna create a lot less leaks because of it's
Breakage.
gonna lessen the hammering effect when they go on. Because they're not gonna surge on like that.
Now, this is a preview. There's more to come, obviously.
Well, that's what I'm asking you, like, this is just to
Well,
see what we have to do.
This is just to figure out what we have to do and what we have to put in, what do we have to specify in the bid package that we're going to do. And I have put away about $90,000 for this job. That's for 3 motors and for 3 VFDs. For
Do you have any idea what they cost? Do you have a ballpark what they
Well,
cost?
the VFD that I checked out, and there were about from 3 or 4 different companies, they run about $20,000 to $25,000 a piece.
A piece?
Okay, now, if you have to change the motors, we talk another $5,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 on top of that.
For all 3 or
No,
each?
per.
Yeah.
Well, for the 100 horsepower motors, less for the 50 horsepower motors. So it's not going to be cheap, you know.
It's a good way to get started though.
Any further discussion?
In the long run, this is going to save electricity, hopefully?
Yes,
You said,
yes.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, when these motors start, they go from 0 to max, and they have huge amount of inrush currents. And, you know, as I said, we typically pay between $4,500 and $5,500 a month for electricity. In the month of February, which was a short month, we paid over $7,000 for electricity. Well, everybody else paid it higher too, but the cost of electricity seems to rise. Now, I cannot tell you, I know that your next question, how much you're going to save. I can't tell you that.
No.
But it's going to be considerable.
Okay. So how much are you going to save? I'm only kidding, Heinz.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Over the last year and a half, I have started taking data on the distribution system, on the village distribution system. And what I have found is in many places, we have extreme amount of tuberculation inside the pipes. We have pipes that are 100 years and more old. And as we said before, a lot of them start to break. We have also mapped the lines. We have taken flow data on this line on the hydrants to see how much water we get through these reduced size pipes. And I have put a book together to show all the line breaks what the inside of the pipes look like, what the flow data is. And I had started to talk to our village engineer to see what kind of other data I need to start putting a proposal together for engineering, for an engineering job of our distribution system in terms of what are the existing conditions, what are the goals. We did the mapping and to put an engineering report together so we can go out to attract some funding from outside sources for putting a real engineering plan together. Now, I don't know how much, so we have two, it's a three-step process. The first step is to put a conceptual plan together. And that conceptual plan, as I said, needs to show what are the conditions, what do we think we have to fix, how much it's going to cost, and so on. The second step, which is the larger step, and it's not a lot of money. It's probably 5 or 8 or 10K or something like that. The next step is a comprehensive water distribution plan, and there we need to show, what is the cost of such a system, how are we going to implement it, and so on. And I have talked to our senator here to see if there's Senator Terry Gibson, to see if there's any money available from the state or other venues to fund some of the planning for that. So I just wanted to get the agreement of the board that I can go to have discussions, have some more detailed discussions with the engineer to come up with a conceptual plan, and I will tell you that in a couple of months now what the cost of that is going to be. What the engineer told me is that, it's nice that you have all this cross-section, but she said that I need to have more flow data. I have about 15 points of the village. I have nothing in Rhinecliff. And I plan in between May, once the ice is gone and the weather gets better, to take another 15 or 20 points of our distribution system to see what the flow is, so we can then target certain areas that we want to investigate for fixing. So I think I don't need a.
We're not spending any money yet. You're just talking to her.
I'm talking to her, but I'm going to have to spend some money at some point. Okay, so. I just want to tell you that we completed the work. I completed the work on our budget. It's a $1,055,000 budget, of which $155,000 is for infrastructure improvements. Next item has to do with electric power reduction initiatives that the village has done, and I periodically report on the solar system that we have here now. February was a terrible month for getting solar power out there. We made 419 kilowatt hours for our system. It's like nothing. We saved $67 of this thing, but we had months already where we saved $800-900 on.
Well, they were covered with snow.
Well, they were covered with snow, and it was dark. There was no sunlight on that. In additionally, on the power reduction initiatives that we have taken, we set up the electricity supply with a company called Viridian. This company has given us a rebate check of $3,000, $3,082. However, that check covered only 5 of the 12 accounts that we have applied for. Yeah, so be quiet. I have requested an explanation for the rest of them, and I'm waiting for their for the answer. We wanted to get all the lights changed from high-pressure mercury lamps to sodium, and that has pretty much done. I think there's 1 or 2 missing, and they haven't done it because of bad weather. Next, I want to talk to you about we had an audit here, a state audit for the water department, and they came up with 6 recommendations, and I think I gave you a copy of all of this, and if you want me to read the letter that was drafted from Rich and so on, I can read it to you, but essentially, we were in compliance with 3 or 4, and we have to make it one of them, we have to have a public hearing actually to change the time of the billing time before we charge penalties and so on from 15 to 25 days. Our code says 15, but we're giving people 25 days, so we have to change the code from 15 to 25 days. Additionally, one of the questions that the state had was that they wanted us to have a yearly audit of some of our funds, and to that end, I requested a bid from a local person, Lori Doty, and she's used by Red Hook. The town uses her for audits, and she came back with a $3,000 cost for auditing the general fund, which is the payroll, all the ins and outs of the general fund, the street department, cash flow, planning, and the courts. And unless you want to have some more extensive audit done on the village, I think this is a really reasonable cost to do that.
We actually received an email today. That was it, okay.
Yeah, but
Someone else.
That's from a large company upstate New York, from Buffalo and so on. And these are going to be very expensive. The question is, how extensive do we want to get? Here we're talking about cash monitoring.
It was the comptroller's recommendation that the cash accounts be reconciled, so an additional audit step.
So I think for
That's what they audited, was the water and sewer department.
what I did not include in the audit is, because we just had it done, was the water and sewer department, because they came out kind of clean, right?
Yes, they did.
Thank you.
Yes, they did.
And so I didn't think that we needed to do that again, because it was just done about 6 months ago. So I'd like to make a motion to retain Lori Doty to do an analysis of our cash. I had initially planned to do that about the time when our fiscal years ends, or about January 1st and so on.
Do we have a second?
With the cost of $3,000.
Second.
Discussion, questions?
I mean, it's a specialty service contract, so, we don't need to
Yeah,
get
we
3
don't
bids
need-
really,
right.
right?
It's professional service.
Professionally.
I just have a question about what does our regular accountant do? Do they check these items, or?
I don't know.
I know they audit all our books. But I don't know if they go look at receipts versus deposits. That I don't know.
I think it is worthwhile for us to do it. We just went to our second treasurer. We're looking for a third one.
I know, but
You might want to check with your existing auditors to find out if that can be encompassed within the audit scope. Show them what the comptroller had said and see if it's covered under that.
Do you know when that happens, Pat?
They come quarterly.
But we could request of them to come sooner and see if they could roll this in together. Get a quote from them to do the add-on.
Okay, so we're going to table that for the time being?
yeah, I just think it's, since we already do have an accountant working with our with our books.
But
It might
we
be-
had issues right there for.
Well, we don't-
Timing, it took us a long time to get.
Well, let's look into it and we'll table it for tonight. We'll be together again
Okay.
shortly.
Now, we had told in the letter, which you have to sign, Keith, that we're going to be doing this by, hang on a second.
You can amend the timelines in that letter.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we wanted to do it by May 31st.
okay, that should be fine.
So we can send out a letter then, right?
Yes, I mean, we can just modify the timelines as necessary. and-
Right.
Okay. Anything else, Heinz?
No, that's it.
I don't know if you addressed the letter from the county health department?
Yeah, but that's,
Okay.
Tom is going to write a letter
Okay.
about some of the issues that I raised. And one of them has to
Okay.
do with fixing soffits on
Yeah.
the pump house and
Well, I just thought we'd mention that the county health department inspected the water plant, and they gave us a pretty good bill of health, and, you know, with a basic statement here that overall the plant was run well. So thank you, Heinz and Tom Mulbank. Also, I don't know, did we publicize that at all?
well, we sent, I don't think we sent
Okay.
it out yet, did we?
Yeah, no,
It's not due until June.
June.
but it's on the website already?
Yes, it's been on the website.
Okay, so the annual drinking water quality report for 2013 is available on the village website, and from what I understand, it will not be, it used to go out in hard copy to all the water users, and it will no longer go out in hard copy, so just to make you aware that it is available
But we
on the
printed, I
village
think, 60
website.
or 70.
Hard copies are available in the village hall and at the library.
Okay, so hard copies are available here and at the library?
I'm pretty sure they're at the library.
Okay, but also on the village website, but you will not receive them any longer in your water bill. But do it for the,
Thank you, sir.
you got
Yes,
it?
sir.
Good job. So I have the fire department report for calls in February. EMS calls were 19 to the town, 22 in the village, for a total of 41. Fire, 6 in the town, 9 in the village, 15 overall. Motor vehicle, 3 in the town, and 0 in the village. So year-to-date, well, monthly total calls were 28 in the town, 31 in the village. Monthly total of 59. For the year, we have 168 calls in the town, 109 in the village, for a total of 257. And that year starts November 1st. Mutual aid, it was a pretty light month overall for the fire department, and they only had 2 mutual aid calls, one to Hillside and one to Red Hook. We have no new members pending our approval. We should have one next week. We need to look at the policy that they have regarding physicals for members. Currently, they do annual physicals for all members, and from what I understand and have confirmed with Rich, the regulation only requires a physical upon joining. And, you know, some of the thought process here as well, maybe we would continue annual physicals for interior firefighters and maybe a reduced schedule, possibly based on age, for exterior firefighters, EMS personnel, and then, you know, maybe not providing physicals for those members of the department who do not respond to calls. You know, they're more administrative responsibilities. So, you know, it's a potential, they're $250 a pop, so it's could be a big cost difference, but we would have to create the policy and the schedule where we'd want to go from. And from what I understand, it's not written.
It's not mandated.
Yeah, but it's not, they don't have anything written from the fire department, what I was able to confirm so far.
I haven't seen a policy, so
Yeah,
it's
so
up to
that's-
this board to establish it.
Yeah, so we are going to work on a policy. If we have any recommendations, you know, I'm thinking like that, interior annually, And then there's some literature that I saw in the fire chief's handbook that, possibly, 30 to 40 years old, under 30 every 3 years, under 30 to 40 every 2 years, 40 plus, make that every year for the exterior people as well. So something to think about for us to come up with. In terms of our contract with the Town Protective District, Heinz and I have been meeting with Bruce and Joe from the town board, and we have come down drastically in our request for the contract, which started on January 1st. They had their meeting last night, and they decided to come up zero. So that's where we're at now. They're still at the budgeted amount that they put forth in their budget in November, I think it was.
They haven't budged from that at all?
Zero.
No,
Never, huh?
No change in their
just a lot of
vision. And they,
noise in the system.
yes, and they passed that in the future, they're going to stick to their contractor rate for this year, and then they will match whatever the tax cap is established at. So, if last year was 1.66%, or, whatever next year is going to be, that's what they're going to base.
So less than the rate of the cost of the stuff that's going up for us.
Exactly, yeah,
So we're actually going to lose ground.
exactly.
One of the tasks they took was to say, to define what is their area of responsibility, and and nothing outside of that. They say just one district, not hillside, not Rhine Cliff, just a protective district that they have. And they said, if you go out and help other people in other municipalities, it's your problem, not ours. We don't want to pay for that.
Yeah, even though they receive mutual aid into the protective district.
Sure, yeah.
It's their feeling that they shouldn't have to pay for any mutual aid calls that go outside of, that we respond to. Some of the other areas of contention were, they don't want to pay for anything to do with the firehouse. So they don't want to have to pay for a piece of the garage or the, any of the, electricity or fuel, et cetera, et cetera. So they want to pay only for,
Or equipment.
yeah.
Well, they wanted to put some money into a capital fund
For us?
for the fire department.
I mean, for our
No,
fire.
they want a mandate, essentially, that a portion of the money they give
Yeah.
us is supposed to go into a capital fund, so in the future, we don't have any,
And they would also,
That's going to be
they want to
enough
run the business, essentially.
and they would also like a vote
That's
on
going to be
our
enough
fire
to
department
replace our
budget.
equipment, and presumably, like,
No?
Yeah.
it's just going to be a pittance, I mean.
Pittance,
Yeah.
right.
So
Yes.
they're just saying that they're only asking for one section to be covered? They're not counting Hillside or Rhine Cliff, but what is the
No, it's more
area?
about the mutual aid. That even though, for
You
instance.
should just, explain what mutual aid.
Okay, so mutual aid is everyone in all the departments in the county sign an agreement, and that basically says, hey, if you need us, we'll come to you. If we need you, you'll come to us. It's, it's an informal agreement. There's no exchange of funds associated. So if the Rhinebeck Fire Department goes up to help on a fire in Red Hook, then we don't charge Red Hook. And if Red Hook comes here, they don't charge us. So for instance, an example here, there was a fire out on Mill Road, which is in the protective district, and there were, 8 or 10 departments from all over the place. Some came in from Ulster County, which is the protective district, receiving a great deal of mutual aid on one call. And, their feeling as well.
From somewhere, not from us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're the primary, and we're
Right.
receiving help to fight their fire. And, they're saying, well, Ulster was here, Hillside was here, Mile and Red Hook, all these people came in, but we don't want to pay for anything when you have to go help them. We want to take their services, but we don't want to contribute to that portion of it. That the village should pay all of that, we'll take it, but we don't want to contribute to the mutual aid policy.
Even if the mutual aid is within a town district?
Correct.
It's not like
They want-
Cliff or Hillside even?
No, they want the village to pay for all of that
That's their
expense.
own, that's their
Yeah,
other
no.
two districts.
Right, exactly.
I'm sorry, but
Right.
it's illogical.
Yeah,
It's just not fair, this is,
Yeah. Yeah, the contract technically is only with the protected district, and there are issues such as our ambulance provides the coverage to Hillside District from 6 PM to 6 AM every day of the year. When there's an issue at Ferncliff Nursing Home, our ladder truck is the first call out there, so it's really not mutual aid, but it's not in the protected district, so, they don't want any part of that either. So, basically their whole, their approach to it was, we didn't want to exceed our tax cap. That's what we based everything on. It doesn't matter what it costs you to provide the services to us, but we will not exceed the tax cap now or ever to pay for it. So that's basically where it's at. And right now, we continue to operate under a temporary agreement, which allows for a 60-day cancellation from either party. So as of now, it's business as usual, and they are paying us at a rate which is at our requested rate. It's on a 1/365th, daily rate of our original proposed rate. So that's where we are at today.
Any guidance?
Well, let's look at Rich for guidance.
It's a contract. I mean, you don't have to enter into the future.
But we have a budget to cover.
but it's
It's open for further discussion going forward.
Yeah. So that's the fire.
So our rate, wait, I'm sorry,
Okay,
the
sorry.
rate, our daily rate is what compared to the past rate?
Right now, they're paying us at the daily rate based on 187,000 per year,
Which is what we wanted.
what we had asked for.
Which gets exhausted.
Around September, they will have exhausted their budgeted funds at that rate.
So even though they're paying us the higher rate we requested on a daily basis, when it gets to the 148 or 149,000, that's it?
Well, we don't, that would be up to them, what they want to do. Either they can,
No,
You
they
know,
have
put-
only paid 1 month so far. So,
and the second month is due right
it's due
about
right
now. Yeah, 10 days, right, 10 business days, I believe, after the close of February.
So it's going to blink first.
So,
Well, this is up for further discussion.
yes, so the discussion will continue. So how about some good news from the street department?
Oh, the street department. Well, it's a short report because street department plowed snow, salted the roads. When it wasn't snowing, they removed the snow from the corners, the fire hydrants, and the storm drains. And more recently, they've been filling the potholes with cold patch. And we know we have a lot of roads that are going to need fixing come this spring, which is right around the corner. And Heinz, as we spoke before about Asher Road, that's my main priority this year.
We're going to take a look at what it looks like once the snow is all gone.
Okay, you're looking at the water hookups and all that?
Yeah, and look at the water lines.
Okay. What we want to do is, we get money every year from the states called CHIPS for road paving. So our idea is to make sure most of the, if not all of the water necessities under the road are fixed, so that we don't have to dig them up after we pave a road, like we did South Parsonage Street last year. All those water connections were fairly new, so we're confident we don't have to dig the road up again there. So as we go along, we're gonna, like I have a plan to do Asher Road this year, where I've asked Heinz to go back to the water department and try to find out if we need to fix any of those water connections underneath there or water pipes,
Water pipes.
so that doesn't have to be dug up 2 years down the road after we paved it. So that's our plan.
That it, Hal?
That's it for the highway department.
I got a couple things for the highway
Okay.
department. So although there were a few minor complaints about the snow removal, we've had many compliments to to the Highway Department on their efforts. I do have one correspondence here from a Mr. Yadow, thanking the Highway Department for their work on Montgomery Street and filling the potholes. I have an update here from on the Community Development Block Grant for the crosswalks. Yeah, it was signed by the county. It's with Erdman Anthony has it now. I guess we were supposed to get a DOT permit for the work, which we don't have yet. So she was going to, and we apparently had the plans, which I don't possess. So she's going to send a copy to the county, and they are going to send us the paperwork, and we should have an example from last year to work on it. So the work has to be completed by August 31st of this year, and once we get, she won't put the project out for bid until we have the permit. So that's the last thing. So it should,
She's getting the permit, you're saying?
well, it will cost us for her to get the permit. She's forwarding it, the plans, at no cost to the county, and then the county will forward us the permit paperwork, and
then we'll get
if
the
we can
permit.
manage it, then we will
Yeah.
do it. If it's something, I mean, I think we've done it in the past, so I think we should be able to handle it, especially since we should have a completed one handy for reference. I don't know if you got this, Howie, from Cornell about education for highway stuff, their programs. Well, there you go, you have it.
I don't think I have it, no.
There you go.
Okay.
If we want to.
Thank you.
Cornell has some programs for highway.
I think Mike went last year a couple of
Okay.
times with Jim. But
Okay.
I'll give this to Mike.
Maybe we can. Planning and zoning. Do we have anything?
I just got the report, I don't see anything really to talk about. Were you gonna talk about, John Fenton?
Oh, sure. We, I guess that was at one of our public budget meetings that we have appointed John Fenton as the village building inspector, so his job is now combined. He will be covering, he was previously the zoning enforcement officer, now he has been rolled into one as the village building inspector. Still contacted the same place, he'll be taking care of both duties, yeah. So just a different title there.
And does he have set hours yet, or?
Yeah, he will be starting that on April 1st on a full-time basis, and then the hours will be posted. Right now, until April 1st, the hours will continue as they were, which are posted on the website, and there's a sheet on the table in the breezeway downstairs that has his hours. But Karen remains here during business hours for...
It's full-time, part-time.
What's that?
It's still part-time, but it's.
Oh, yeah, he's part-time, but...
I just wanted to make that clear that we weren't.
Yeah, he's part-time, but, he'll be here a total of 20 hours, but the office is open, normal business hours and Karen is in there as always. Did it for there? Got the police report here. Any questions on that? No? The patrol rifle policy, that came up a couple months ago. We were waiting for the police union representative to sign off on that, which he did. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the patrol rifle policy as submitted. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Just wanted to mention that union contract again. So I'm not gonna be here, so I would have been involved with it, but if you're gonna negotiate that, maybe you should partner up with someone else, or.
Yeah, I think you agreed to do that with me, Howie? Or did I imagine that?
I think you imagined that.
Okay.
But
We'll work on someone.
if you're looking for somebody else.
I have talked to Jack Rogers a couple times. He's the union representative, and he's
Oh, he still is for them?
he is still
Oh,
for
okay.
the police, yeah. And he's on vacation, so we're looking at late in March. So a couple weeks from now to start it. And it expires on May 31st. so we should have some time to work.
I'll read it
on
and give you my comments, but
Thank
on my way
you.
out the
You'd be a consultant.
door.
It'll be the last day. Still on the police department, I had a few thank you notes, mostly for, addressed to Ken Scattergood for his efforts. One came from Mary Conti Rice, thanking him for his participating in a Real People, Real World event. One coming from Gray Essig, thanking him for his concern and kindness regarding an accident, and then a couple from the school, because he serves as the school officer. So the kids, Julie wanted to thank him for keeping the school safe. So compliments to the police department and Ken Scattergood in particular. I think that's it there. We have no dog report for this month. There may have been some barking
I guess it's a
dogs.
quiet month for dogs.
Month for
Too much
dogs.
snow.
Yeah, they were,
Too much
couldn't
snow.
hear them in the snowdrifts.
Yeah. So that would bring us to the tree commission.
Okay, the tree commission, everybody got the minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Forwarded to them? Basically, there's only one new request for a tree to be taken down at 71 Livingston Street. The tree is in very poor shape with visible fungus on the branches, a large hole, and trunk scarring. It needs to be removed by a professional since it is in the wires and is large, so the tree commission recommends that we approve this takedown of Catherine Morrison's tree at 71 Livingston Street.
Doesn't Central Hudson do the wires?
Well, we can ask Central
Of course,
Hudson,
that's what
but
I was gonna say.
we'll be waiting. We already have about 4 or 5 trees that we've asked Central Hudson to take down in the last 6 months, and they've said no. And so we do have 4 or 5 trees that we do already have, we're waiting to take down probably this spring by us. But I can ask Central Hudson for this one.
Has Mike reached out to them?
Yeah, Mike did, and then
Okay.
Jim didn't believe us, so then Jim did, and they told
Okay.
him no. But we'll do it again for this one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So any questions on the tree report? Again, the tree planting, the spring tree planting is April, I believe it's 28th, it's a Saturday. And we look forward for some volunteers to help us out. That's it, unless you have questions.
Well, I do have 2 pieces of correspondence, one from the Arbor Day Foundation and one from the New York State DEC, both congratulating us on being recognized as a Tree City USA.
Okay,
So, good job to the Tree Commission.
thank you. We'll be getting a hat and another flag probably and a pin.
Oh, and there is, let me see here. There is a recognition ceremony and workshop Thursday, March 27th at the Albany Hilton Hotel in downtown Albany at 9:30. So the directions are on there.
Oh, thank you.
Got it.
Let's see if anybody from the tree commission wants to go.
Anything on the website? I can tell you that it has been updated. We gathered updates from all the departments here in the village, so if you have looked at it recently, you should notice that it's all the contact information and services provided have been updated. Anything on finance and controls?
No, I wonder if we shouldn't just remove the debt because it's a dormant committee.
Pat? Can you remove that from the agenda?
You got it.
We'll hide it.
Just like the budget.
Can't
In
remove
case
it,
it's
but we
revived,
can,
right?
we can only hide
Yeah,
it.
you just have to.
Okay. Next, under number 8 there, event applications. We had our first event application come in from the Northern Dutchess Hospital Foundation for the Taste of Rhinebeck event. It was forwarded over to Pete. He had some recommendations, but it's an event that has been going on for some time. I think it's pretty,
Well, Could we see these then? I mean, we need to, because it's the
Oh.
board, the board's supposed to approve it, but we can internally circulate it or whatever.
Did that go out?
I thought I scanned, because I found it in my file that I scanned it and sent it out.
Oh, we talked, that's right. Remember, I didn't get the attachment.
Did anybody else not get the attachment?
Did you guys see the event code? The application?
I saw the application, but not the attachment. I didn't see that.
We didn't see this.
Well, this, she just sent a letter.
That's the letter.
And we're supposed to be,
This is the
Afterwards.
application.
there's a insurance policy requirement where we're named as additional insured.
So what do we have to do here?
What
Let's,
is that one there?
When's it
Can we-
scheduled?
Well, the event's coming up on April
April 8th.
8th, the same day as our next meeting. So do you want, I mean, you want to address it at one of our
yeah,
budget workshops?
I'll
I
rescan
think-
it and send it to
Okay.
everybody again.
You can do that, right, Rich?
there is a requirement
Still
for
public.
insurance.
Okay.
Remember there was a bike ride that went through all these communities and they just sent us a certificate of insurance.
Well, did they
Naming
send
us as
us,
additional insured.
did they send
It's
us
not
a
a big deal.
certificate on this one?
No, but there's a note on her letter that says that each restaurant has its own operator and certificate and liquor license permits. No,
I guess we can waive, we'll talk about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll bring that one up again.
Tuesday, next
at a later-
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is our budget, next budget? Yeah.
Okay.
We also got a letter from the Center for Performing Arts asking to hang four decorative temporary attachments to the utility poles. I think they 24 inches wide, 36 inches long. A picture of Shakespeare saying, "Welcome to Rhinebeck, home of the Sanskrit Shakespeare Festival." They'd like to hang them from March 20th to April 14th to coincide with their festival. They want to put them on the Central Hudson utility poles, East Market Street, outside of Bread Alone, East Market Street, outside of Rhinebeck Smoke Shop, East Market Street, outside of Village Pizza, and Route 9 outside of Foster's.
Now, there are some already out there, right? Some flags.
Well, we have some that didn't go through us for approval.
Okay,
We have some that, the farmer's market ones.
those are approved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do they take those up, Pat?
Oh, you have a,
this is what it looks like.
yeah. So this is that's the
I
bid.
don't know if there's a deadline or time frame on when they come down.
So we're talking
Yeah,
about,
we approve them for a certain period of time, I think.
20-some days.
I guess.
Yeah, that's why I like, go ahead.
Now, the question I would have is, there's so many different organizations who want to put flags up. Right, there's 2 or 3 of them. And how are we going to coordinate that? And should we coordinate
What
this?
we've done in the past is if someone is like really close civically to like the high school or the farmer's market or the Star Library, we've approved them, and we always try to keep one thing going on at any given time. And there haven't been that many. The reason why I'm attracted to this is because it's such a short period, and
Yeah.
it's the winter, and there's not,
Mhm.
and there's such a good community,
They're talking 4 of them, and they've identified
Sure.
exactly where they're going to go and the
Yeah.
time frame of them, and they agreed to.
and it's pretty cool, I mean, it's Shakespeare, I mean, it's
Okay, so I make a motion to
culturally cool, I mean.
allow the Center for Performing Arts to put up these signs
As described.
as described from March 20th to April 14th.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. I did not see that. Oh, yeah, that's,
school banners go up,
that's
They
coming
go
up, I
up
think.
a couple weeks before graduation.
Oh, yeah, I don't have
Mr. Cotter, do you know that answer?
Not exactly sure.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
it. The next one on the
Jim
agenda.
knew all that stuff,
Yeah.
Thank you.
sorry.
He knows when graduation is.
He just knows when, like, all the banners, he just knew when.
Jim might have a file for
Why don't you
banners.
text him? Text him, see if he can get the banner. So the fire department wants to set up a coin drop, June 7th and 8th. at the usual spots in front of, here in front of the firehouse and in front of the M&T Bank on Mill Street. I'd like to make a motion to approve the fire department's request for coin drop.
No, is this the weekend they've always been? I was jumping into discussion.
Now we have discussion, go ahead.
This is the weekend they always do it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Is this the normal weekend, Pat, do you know, on the schedule?
I think so, I think this is a
Okay.
craft, is this the
Okay.
craft type of fair?
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Confusing me with this extra, here. You want this? Okay. Next one is a request from Northern Dutchess Hospital to put 2 striped crosswalks on Montgomery Street. This would coincide with their construction project. They want to put one by the exit from the Baptist church where they're going to be temporarily parking more cars. The one currently that is there will be a crosswalk to nowhere once the fencing goes up for the construction project. So their plan is to have 2, one corner of Astor, to divert, their employee traffic. The southern point on the corner of Astor would bring those employees that are going to enter through the front, and then the second one bring the employees around there and enter in the back. They've agreed to install crosswalk ahead signs, and they've agreed to put a temporary marking and allow us and the street foreman to inspect it for location. They're going to follow DOT standards and provide all the labor material. They'll black them out when it's done.
So it's for the, because we're talking about perhaps paving
Yeah, I explained that to him as well, and that would be, after.
after. So
We
they
would
don't-
pave after. This is basically to cover the construction phase.
Right.
I think we're putting off the paving on Montgomery Street till next year because of
Yeah.
the
It's
construction.
going to be 18-month construction
Yeah,
project.
maybe 2 years.
Well, we have to do the culverts in East Chestnut too, with the CHIPS money.
Yeah, so we do have other projects, but the thought here is to not to do any repaving on Montgomery Street until after the highway expansion is, the hospital expansion is done.
Because we also have to put 3 new fire hydrants in there. We have 3 hydrants in there that date back from the 19th century.
Oh, okay.
So we have to do that before. We
Yeah.
can do that this year.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve their plan to put the 2 proposed crosswalks in.
Second.
Got a second? Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
I'm sorry?
Did you say anything?
So he said aye, right?
Oh, he did? I didn't hear an aye from over there.
I did say aye, right?
You said aye?
Okay, I just missed it, that's okay. Lastly on our...
Shy aye.
Shy, okay, it's under the breath aye. We have another special request from Shepherd Knitters, otherwise known as Pat Coon.
Nope.
June 21st is Worldwide Knitting Public Day. That'd be WWKIP. So a small knitting group, they've been meeting in the village for 10 years, and they want to participate in the Knitting in Public program, but they will not be impeding any sidewalk traffic, but they'll be sitting out on the benches, right? Yeah,
Chairs.
and chairs, from 10 to 2 on Saturday, June 21st, with an anticipation of 30 participating members. I'd like to make a motion to approve their public knitting display.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. On to other business. We had another bid for the recycling truck, but the good news is we scrapped it today and got a check for $1,630.20.
Good.
So it more than doubled any offer that we'd had on it. But we do have one more bid here for $50 on the 2 Myers snowplows.
Yeah, there's 2 snowplows that we have out at the highway department that don't fit any of the vehicles that we have now. So we're just trying to clean up the yard out there.
You were gonna sell both of them?
Yes.
Yeah. We have a bid?
We have a bid. Were they on, they were on the sealed bid, and we got no bids. Now we have a unsealed bid. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the $50 bid on the two snowplows.
Second.
Any discussion?
I suppose they don't really have scrap value because they're not $50 worth anyway.
Right.
Yeah, it's $11 per 100 pounds, so I don't know if they weigh 500. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So we're going to award the two snowplows to George Wyatt for $50. I guess under other business, we have a resolution in regards to the fairground district that we had to do some updating.
This is just a supplemental resolution, which is going to change the zoning map. You've already adopted the Fairgrounds District. This is simply to authorize the change in the map for the noted parcels.
Do I have to read all those numbers?
Now, you can just adopt the resolution, move and second it if you want.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have to recuse myself from any fairgrounds business.
Thank you, Howie. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Under correspondence, I have something here from, let's see, Holly Hoffner at the Office of Capellino and Rothschild, just letting us know that the Dutchess County Local Development Corp., there's going to be a public hearing on the 17th at 9:30 a.m. In regard to the project, the hospital project. So just to let you know that that's there.
Where is that?
It's at the town hall at 9:30 on Monday, March 17th.
It's this Monday.
Okay. Other correspondence, question came up again about that intersection at South Street and South Parsonage.
Yeah, I got a copy of
got
that.
that
Is that the
report.
same one that Jim had?
Yeah, it's been a chain for a while.
Why do we have that blinking yield light there?
To slow people down.
But why don't we just have a simple four-way stop there? I know we've talked about this years ago.
Yeah.
Well, the light was there first. It wasn't a,
It's confusing to people.
you think it's confusing? You think it'd be?
Can we add stop signs? I mean, is there some kind of regulation why if the light's there?
I doubt
Wasn't
it.
there some serious accident at one point?
I don't think there's ever been any accidents there.
I don't
We've
think
asked
so.
Pete like 5 times over the last 5 years that I've been here, and
It just seems a natural place for a four-way stop.
Right.
And to have two-lane traffic in that one block, was
Well,
there,
well,
did
except-
they don't want people to speed through there? or-
Well, there was also talk that they were gonna make it,
Two-way street.
make Parsonage a two-way street by the deli there at one time.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know why. it
But
was-
I believe the reason they have a yellow and a red blinking light there is because one way you have a through street both ways, and the other way you have a one-way street.
Yeah.
And that's why
Right,
you
but
have
that's
the
what I'm
red
saying,
lights.
why, I guess my other question is, why is it a one-way street? Because we have plenty of stop signs on Parsonage.
Yeah.
If someone wants to race through town, they have to stop frequently, and
I think it's a one-way street because of the delis there, and there was a lot of cars that parked there along the street,
Yeah.
so.
maybe
With
when
the
it
cars
was,
parked in front of it, there probably wasn't room for two lanes.
I mean, we have two-lane streets in front of the other deli, and that's a busy place.
No, I think
They don't have
it's
angled
I think
parking.
it's the width is what the problem probably was. I don't know that, but.
It just seems.
Well, the person that writes the letter, what do they want to do? What is their recommendation?
She wants signs that explains that it's a two-way stop, which
Well, it's,
I think would make it even more confusing personally, but.
And
If you
sign-
just
sidewalks on, what was there, she was wondering when we were gonna get sidewalks on,
On South Parsonage Street.
yeah.
Oh, that's
We're talking about
another issue.
just putting a shoulder there.
Yeah, when the snow is gone. I guess we could look into maybe making it a four-way stop. I'm sure we could change the
Well-
light to blinking in four directions and put stop signs on.
Or just not have blinking lights.
Yeah, not have it light at all.
But that would be,
Save us $10.
Yeah, but that's a landmark, that's a Rhinebeck landmark,
It
the
is.
blinking light.
and of course, that would be, I would want Pete Dunn to be comfortable
Oh,
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll ask him about it. I had two things that I forgot to mention earlier on the Asher Dam and the pedestrian bridge. Nancy from Erdman Anthony, she has information on Asher Dam. She'd worked on the emergency plan in the past. So I'm going to forward her what we have from the DEC and FEMA, and she'll give us an estimate on what a plan would be for there. And also on the pedestrian bridge, the report that we have on that.
Okay.
So, no cost yet, but they're going to look at it and give us an idea what
Yeah,
a plan may cost.
I thought the FEMA requirements were so straightforward that we didn't
Yeah.
need to do any engineering. And then the state
Yes.
acted like we needed to come up with a report. And they said that they didn't have the things that I know that she produced a couple of years ago.
Right,
Like those two plans. She did those plans.
exactly, and I just
And they didn't have the box checked.
So, she may be able to answer that question without incurring a whole great deal of cost.
Okay.
How about the water and sewer adjustments?
I think you have only one here.
I have one.
Which is the same as the ones I have, so I can talk to it, or you can talk to it.
I just have this one, it's a final bill, it's in a corresponding new owner, the $224.72 adjustment and a $25 corresponding new owner adjustment.
Okay, I have 5 new owners, and they have 5 new final bills, and they're roughly $120 for the final bills and $125 for the new owners. We had one problems with the computer here, where we had 104 bad entries, and I have a list of them with all the debits and credits, and there was 104. The total of them was $9,000 in debits, and to a net of $5,757.90 of the difference. So all of it has been fixed.
They were all
We go to
manually calculated.
104 manually calculated. We had a wrong meter reading issue that resulted in a credit memo of $238. We had one property, wastewater property, for $378, which we don't charge wastewater for water. I removed the penalty for $14.08 because the payment was applied to the wrong account, and then we had an error of 4 cents. We took a check with the wrong amount, so all of these have been fixed. 4 cents. 4 cents. That's it.
Okay,
I do have some, Pat, did you want me to, you gave me this note here? Is this for tonight's meeting or some, okay.
Next one.
I have to make a motion to accept, I'm sorry.
No, we're done.
I have to make a motion to accept the adjustments as stated, I guess both for the water and for the sewer.
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. So the vouchers,
They're downstairs on the table.
they're downstairs, ready to go.
I'm going to do
And so's payroll, if somebody else could sign.
Okay, yeah, I signed one payroll, so need one more.
when you need them.
Thursday.
Okay,
And you
so
pay-
tomorrow's okay, tomorrow morning?
I don't know if Chrissy wanted the vouchers, but payroll's Thursday.
So we're gonna make a motion to approve the vouchers as submitted. We do that?
We just did, right?
You already ordered the vouchers, right?
We already did.
No, I meant not the sewer adjustments, the vouchers.
I thought you just did that.
We did.
Oh, we did.
I think we
Okay.
did the water, I don't know if we did the sewer.
We did
Yeah,
both
we
of
did.
them together.
Both.
Oh, okay.
Did them both.
Okay. So all we got left is the executive session, correct?
Right, do we have anybody here? There's some people here? Some.
Oh. Come on up, Gary.
Gary Kenton, and forget, I was a couple minutes late. Have we encouraged people to vote on Tuesday?
We
That's
have
a
not.
good point.
Thank you, Gary. Election day is Tuesday, 12 to 9 at the town hall. Anybody else? Michael?
Hi, Michael Gee, Oak Street. Looking at the zoning maps, it seems that the property where I live, abutting commercial property, is the only one on the zoning maps that's not in a special sensitivity overlay. And I'm wondering how I can go about getting that looked at, perhaps done, since all the other residential abutting commercial have special sensitivity overlays in the zoning map, and mine does not. So that's one question.
Property owner can either petition, or the board can do it on its own motion. You'd have to change your code.
We're gonna make a lot of, code revisions, so we can include that in the stuff we're gonna look at.
Okay? Don't want to be left behind.
So what, can you explain what that means,
There's just a higher level of oversight by planning and zoning boards when commercial operators want to do things as they abut residential neighborhoods. And all of them, except for mine, has a special sensitivity overlay.
The houses past you have it done?
No, but,
Doesn't,
so I guess it would be Staley behind me. I don't know, I'd have to look that up. But like where Staley and the health thing and Delamater will match up. Like the Delamater is in special sensitivity, I believe, and historic things.
Right.
So there's just, it's
So it's
like,
the commercial property that's in sensitivity, not,
yes, but when you abut it, that's what, as a residential, you
Right.
kind of hope that you were having this kind of extra added protection.
Are you directly north of the mental health?
Yes.
yeah, he's right next to it, but some of those houses past you on the same side of the street.
They abut commercial in the
Yeah,
back. That's
yeah.
Nick Staley's, yes.
Well, there's more than his, isn't there? Like
Well, yeah, yeah,
the
that's true.
restaurant-
They go around the
Garden
Delamater,
Street.
right.
Yeah. I was just wondering if I'm just saying, I'm not saying
Right.
that we shouldn't help you, but
Right.
if we're gonna do you, then we should,
Well, his
Do
side
everybody at
yard,
once.
his side yard is a little more sensitive than a rear yard too.
Well, they both are. I've had
They
issues
are.
with both things, and we're looking for, added protection, and it seems like we were forgotten. And, I know of mine, and I would hope my neighbors, I haven't approached any of them, but I'd like to, to get this in, because I'm trying to get my house added to the historic district. Ideally, I'd like the whole street done, but the criteria has changed since it was done back in the 70s, and Oak Street is the oldest street in the village of Rhinebeck, and the people didn't want it back then, and the historic people that were looking at it really didn't want to bother, so it was just like they both kind of walked away from each other. And you have, my neighbor has the first original school in the village of Rhinebeck, is directly across there. It's a carbon copy of the Delamater house. So, I mean, these are, the neighborhood was forgotten for so many years, and then we finally came up, and we're looking to,
can you give us a letter outlining exactly what you're looking to
Okay.
do?
Yep.
I've got it. I mean, I also wrote, I'll put it in
Okay.
that file. I'm compiling,
Okay.
putting together a bunch of, all these suggestions for
Right,
zoning.
thank you.
And I'm not gonna leave that, I mean, I want to continue to work on that even after I'm not here on the board. So.
Okay. And the other questions to Rich is we have two Article 78s, Banta and Colnaghy. My question's where are we at this point with those two?
Working out the submission schedules to the court.
And who's the judge or judges?
I don't know who's been assigned, let's see, Peter Foreman's on the 47 Market Street.
And we haven't had anything yet? There's just no meetings, or?
There are no meetings. It will be submitted to the court.
Right, but
Papers are not-
you haven't gone.
Papers are not all in yet.
Right. When they make a decision, what's the time frame when a decision by a judge is made?
The Article 78s are usually at the top of the calendar. I would say they could probably be decided within 3 months,
Okay,
depending on the judge's calendar.
right. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Anybody else?
Go into executive session?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion.
That'd be nice.
Okay, I make a motion to go to executive session?
For discussion of employment of particular individuals.
Yes, discuss personnel matters.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.